The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
This is where the fun begins.
Get ready for raw, unfiltered Razorback talk. Nobody knows what they'll say next. It's time to go inside the hog pen with Razorback Zach, Marcus MC Carlton, and Sarah Swish Vogel.
Let me talk to you.
Hello, what's up, everybody, and welcome to a late night edition. Well, I say late. I mean, for MC, it's probably past his bedtime.
It's late for this old fart, I can tell you.
Welcome, everybody.
Me.
It is early for you, Sarah. Welcome, everybody, to a late night edition of Inside the Hawg Pen, post-game edition of Inside the Hawg Pen. I'm Razorback Zach, your host from the Central Arkansas Hog Pen, alongside Marcus MC Carlton from the NEA and from the NWA, Sarah Swish Hambone Vogel. Okay, so we're going to jump right into this, but MC, I have a did you know fact for you.
Bring it.
The 1990-1991 Arkansas men's basketball team, under the guidance of one Nolan Richardson, set a program record for single-season victories with how many?
21.
31.
Close. 34.
34. Okay.
34. So, with that being said, welcome to the show, everybody. Leave us a review. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Y'all know the drill. I'm not going to get into it. Let's just jump right on into this. What do y'all say? Arkansas actually wins a game pretty handedly, although they tried to piss it away towards the end.
Overall, good victory.
Is it a moral?
Still have moments of WTF. You have head-scratching moments from guys who honestly don't need to be in the game, because when they're in the game, the lead tends to dwindle, and it's to the point that it's not a coincidence anymore.
Well, now, who would that be?
I don't mean one number. I mean two different
24?
numbers.
24?
No, negative. Negative, Ghost Rider.
I find it interesting that guys who didn't play when we lost by 20 were two of our highest scorers this game.
And it begs the question, are they – I don't want to put any juju on this team. They may be finally starting to put it together. Better late than never. I mean –
Took all season.
It took all season. But
Battle's definitely found his groove. There's no doubt about that.
So,
the man just set an SEC record tonight. So
I want to go to the Hog Wild Live Fan feedback real quick, because Richard Wright brings up a good point. And welcome back to the pen, Richard. It's been a while since we've seen you. Battle is our new Note, in my opinion. Disagree? Agree? What do y'all think?
It's the closest thing we've got to a Note.
I feel like Note was more consistent, though.
Yeah, he would.
And then, he was consistent and then exploded, whereas Battle was non-existent for a good 4 or 5 games.
True.
He went face on the milk carton for about 5 games there.
I wish they would post the final stats so I could look at true minutes. I hate when they take forever.
I mean, keep in mind, y'all, yes, I agree. And everybody, and like I said, we'll go through all the comments here at the Hog Wild Live Fan feedback, but I agree, it's a victory. We're not dogging on that. We're not criticizing the win. But there were still some major moments.
Well,
my criticism is all season and why we wait till senior night, last home game, when the crowd's 20 people to decide to play ball.
Yeah. The pick and roll, the backdoor cuts. I mean, I'm looking at this stuff tonight, and it's beautifully run offense at times.
Why?
And I'm saying, where in the hell has this been all year?
My question is, Mitchell, last game we played LSU, had barely double digits. Barely.
Yeah.
There's no reason that man shouldn't have had 30 points even tonight. How many did he end up with? 19. He could have had 30. He could have had 30.
If you look at the scoring tonight, and I'm just going off of what I remember, of course, Battle had 29. Ellis had 14 or 15. 16. Had 16 on, I think he missed one shot on the night. And then you had Mitchell had 19. I mean, they're spreading it around. It's I don't know. And I was talking about this with y'all in the pre-show a little bit. I don't know whether to enjoy this or to be more pissed off, because it shows me what this season could have been.
I will say the one thing that pisses me off about the stats from today. Why do we only have four offensive rebounds?
I've been saying that for years.
Was it truly because we made all of our shots? No. It's because, oh my gosh, it just drives me nuts.
Say it again.
We did shoot a fairly high percentage for the game, but 4 offensive rebounds, I mean, you're not going to win many games with that.
We shot 60% from field goal, 61, and 31 from 3-point. 81% from the free throw line, though. That's something we haven't seen in a
I mean, I
don't know what's happened
right there.
I don't know what's happened over the last few games with free throws, but they went
Battle had hit 24 or 25 in a row until they had to say it on the broadcast, and of course this is the next one.
Broadcaster jinx. It's like Father Time. The broadcaster jinx is undefeated. Yeah. But like even against Kentucky, on Saturday, they were like 25 of 26 from the free throw line as a team.
Against Kentucky?
Yeah.
Yeah, against Kentucky.
I think we missed 1 or 2 free throws on the game.
Sarah,
27 for 28.
That's a lot of free throws.
Yeah. Let's jump over here because there's a lot of chatter going on in the Hog Wild Live fan feedback.
Appreciate you guys staying up with us.
Jesse said, Jesse has an early bedtime, so he's committed to us, man. I got to give him props. He says, I do have to say, though, that Lawson poster dunk was pretty damn sweet.
That was pretty awesome.
Hey, and by the way,
if the ESPN app would have loaded, so I could have
live from Verizon Arena for the Stevie Nicks concert. Casey Sutton is watching us.
I kind of want to know how that concert goes.
Casey, girl, I love you. But if you're there to see Stevie Nicks, you have a hall pass for tonight, okay?
You know,
I will give you a hall pass. I appreciate the dedication, but you're there to see Stevie freaking Nicks.
You know, she tried to school me. She was like, you do know who that is, right? And I'm like, yes, I know who that is. She's from Fleetwood Mac.
Well, she had quite the solo career, too.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but Richard Wright once again says Arkansas basketball has gelled. Just hope that we can win the SEC tournament. It's going to be tough. Finally, love the chemistry.
I was just looking at where it stands right now, standings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Our first game is Vandy. Then it'd be Kentucky, South Carolina. Then we would play the winner of LSU and A&M or Tennessee.
Ooh. Holy crap.
And then you still have to get to the final.
And apparently I'm a bobblehead now. What's up, Brad Staten?
I mean, we all kind of were when we first started the show because we were all kind of sitting here doing one of these.
Loki's advocating for a Razorback Zach bobblehead. That would be kind of fun.
That would be cool.
I'm going to have to look into that. Speaking of merch, I showed this the other night, but I'm going to show it again because we actually have a price point now. For $30, this custom-made koozie, which is stainless steel, can be yours. She can do – this is Bomb Stadium that it's on. But she can do, she being Katie, by the way, Flying Elephant Design Company is the exclusive merchandiser of Inside the Hawg Pen. You can find them on Instagram, I believe, as early as this weekend. So there's, she can make anything custom, but if you want something with an Inside the Hawg Pen merch, she's the one you go to. That's Flying Elephants Design Company.
Can she make bobbleheads?
I don't know. I'm going to ask her, though.
I'm
going to ask her. I'm going to ask. That would be
Googling.
Yeah, Sarah's on the case. Sam Jones is in our Hog feedback, and he says the law firm of Davis in Brazil, where a case is never won. That is
Sam
very
coming in hard like that 30-foot 3-pointer Devo put up in the second half that got him
William Lake
expelled from the rest of the game.
William Lake says victory.
Hey, at this point, any victory is a good one.
I would have liked to see it like 3 weeks ago, but
string together a couple of them, not just here at one every now and then. Brad Staten says, and Mitchell, he is clicking on all cylinders. Loki says, I think they tried to give that. This is the one I wanted to touch on, MC. Loki says, I think they tried to give the team to Devo and he couldn't get it done. With the power vacuum, I feel like in the last few games, Battle has decided this is his team. And honestly, I'm more than okay with that. And I have to agree with him 100%. I think Devo, prior to this year, was a standout player. He was the one that you could count on. He was dependable. But you put him in that leadership role, you put the team and the game on his shoulders, and he crumbles.
I think a lot of it for me has to do with like he's mentally not there. So take him off. They had already taken him out of the leadership role like pretty early on in the season. So people need I don't feel like blaming Devo for that is the problem. I think the selfishness of the entire team is what's to blame. Because truly, when I was in high school, we had a team captain, if you want to call it that. But that's not who led the team. The person who led the team was who was on the court vocalizing, who was on the court scoring, whoever had the hot hand that day. It was pretty fluid, I guess you could say. So I feel like that's something they don't do is especially I was looking at stats. once Mark had a few good games, he might have went into a slump the next game, but he then took double the shots instead of doubling your assists. And I feel like that's where the disconnect was.
There are just some guys that the C just doesn't fit on their chest.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a knock, but there are just some guys.
Teams didn't do that. I'm going to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Rip the thing off your damn shirt. Why do you get to be different? No one is entitled to that, in my opinion. In my opinion, no one's entitled to it.
I don't know Devo. All I know about Devo is what I've seen on the court the last 4 years. To me, from what I've seen on the court, when he is looked at as the leader, he tends to put too much pressure on himself and tries to force things. When he is able to step back and not be the guy that everybody's looking to, is when he has played his best games. It's like, I know this is a broken record, but go back to the Kansas game last year. Nobody was looking for him to have 25 in the second half. Nobody. Everybody's looking at Anthony Black. They're looking at Nick. They're looking at Ricky Council. Jordan. I mean, Devo's fourth, fifth option at best on that, and he just found a groove and took care of it. And if you go further back, go back to his freshman year, during that NCAA tournament run where he had some big clutch buckets, again, it was the same thing. He was fourth or fifth option, and it was not expected from him. And it's not a knock on. Yeah. I've played with guys that were at their best when you just kind of let the game come to them and you did not look to them to be the general on the floor. And the more I think about it, the more I think he's that guy.
Do you think, that's kind of what we're seeing with Battle, because nobody thought Battle would come out of nowhere and do what he's been doing the last 4 games either.
But I think Loki's right. I think Battle looked at the situation and said, okay, enough. If we're going down my way. But
at the same time, MC, he wasn't he wasn't chosen. It just kind of developed.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't even in the game to show that he could play. Like, even L. Ellis played 0 minutes against LSU last time. 0. Not even touching the court. Battle only played 9.
We got to talk about L.
They are 2 highest players, or 2 of the 3 highest.
L has played a little better of late as well, especially tonight. I thought he had a really good game tonight.
I think he's had
spot games.
For me, it's also when Muss lets him play, because there's a couple games this season where he didn't touch the court, or it's like, hey, go in for 2 minutes, and you expect something great out of somebody in 2 minutes. Sometimes 2 minutes ain't enough.
Right.
And I hate to say that, but they weren't getting blown out and having 3 turnovers in 30 seconds, most of the time. Let me say most of the time.
Not going to comment.
Well, and I think L is one of those guys also that, he went through a stretch there where he didn't get much of an opportunity. And when he did get an opportunity in that, it seemed like he come in and immediately something bad happened and he was immediately back out of the game. Like you said, you've got to give guys a chance to play into the flow of the game.
Mm-hmm.
He went from 0 minutes to 32.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Against the same team.
Look at the difference. Look at the difference in his stat line too.
Yeah.
Tammy Greenlee, I'm gonna butcher y'all's names. I'm so sorry. Says they are off and the fight isn't the same when Devo and Brazil are in. Yeah, I think
everybody's spot on.
Everybody's starting to see it.
Yeah.
Richard Wright, since the Kentucky game, we have moved the ball around great. Mitchell has to be a beast for us to have success, in my opinion. That one shot he took from the outside where he wasn't in the lane and he just kind of threw it up there, that was pretty impressive.
We had 18 assists tonight, which is pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Devin Haslett says, greetings from your old stomping grounds, talking about me from Central Texas. Brad Staten says, I have my own Funko Pop. That's what we need, is a Funko Pop.
I'll say a bobblehead's like $60.
The custom Funko Pops are about, I think they're about the same. I think they're about $50 or $60.
You got to go into the Funko Pop thing, though. Don't think you can do it online.
Okay.
Sam Jones says the ITHP Uzi Koozie.
The Uzi, I like that. The Uzi Koozie.
I like it. So here's a question. Oscar Martinez says, what players have the option to come back next year, and who do you think transfers?
So of the seniors, I know Devo's the only one with a technical year of eligibility left out of the seniors.
But do you think he comes back?
No.
I don't think so either.
No. If anything, he pulls a KJ Jefferson and tucks tail between his legs and runs. That I can see actually happening.
He either goes like pro somewhere or he stays. There's no transferring for Devo. Like, I'm just going to be completely honest.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
There's
I think
no transferring for him.
if he's not
Like,
here next year, he's playing somewhere overseas. Yeah.
And of course, Loki's still pitching the bobblehead thing, and he says, "You tap the head of the Razorback Zach, and it plays the soundbite of him yelling louder." I like it.
I mean, mine can say, "Eat your taters."
I like it. Now, MC, off in the weeds for a moment. MC has a little divot of his own that he's been hiding, where he filmed a commercial that we should have soundbite of.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. Did y'all all wait? Did y'all all just see that bus? Yeah, I just kicked MC right up underneath it. I'm okay with that. I'll pay for it later though.
Hey, that was I will add a little backstory to that. So I'll have this. I'll get this and upload it to our socials.
Speaking of commercials, the new Dream On, like the Dream On commercial needs to.
No! Stop it! No,
it'll just be redone.
Gotta go.
Because I'm not a fan of
gotta go. Oh man!
Just maybe like Dream On, and then have like Muss hugging Devo and crying after the Kansas game. That's Dreaming On, not me watching school. Sorry.
And the Buzz Lightyear reference is like too much. I mean, how did that get past Disney? I mean, Disney owns SEC Network, and this thing has played like 685,000 times on their channel. I mean,
I think that's why it got past. Because they own the damn thing.
Dream On.
Loki says, "Why do folks want the C on their jersey? Because some folks just want to be a Rocket." # see what I did there.
Does basketball even have C's on their jerseys? I don't think.
I don't know if they do now that I'm thinking about it.
No, they don't.
I don't
because I know soccer has the ones that you like pull, like it's like a cuff for your arm. I think football's the only one that actually puts a C on there. Basketball doesn't care enough. There's not enough people in the field for them to care.
Jesse once again chiming in says Ellis was getting yanked for every little mistake earlier in the season. Tonight must just let him play through the mistakes, and we see. That's the thing, and that's a very good point. We see what happens when Muss just lets the guys play. They learn.
Yeah, I just.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this whole year has just been, Twilight Zone stuff.
I just hope Blocker and Pinion don't leave, or Minifield. I really don't care about.
I think Pinion's gone.
My other half's in the house. What's up, Kitty? I've been pimping the cooler.
I don't want Mark to leave either, personally, but
I will make a prediction on Pinion. He will either he will stay in the state of Arkansas, but he'll either go and be neighbors with Zach and be playing for Coach Walker at UALR, or he'll come up here and be neighbors with me.
You got to stay in the triangle. The triangle.
Talking to UALR, dude, big props to Coach Walker. Cannot believe
the triangle.
Please, no gang signs.
This ain't a gang sign.
I like that one better. I like the upside down. Yeah,
right.
Well, it's just y'all. I'm at the bottom.
Speaking of Coach Walker, shout out to the UALR Trojans for making it to the OVC conference, number 1 seed overall.
Former Hogs,
pretty good.
McHale and KK Robinson.
Right. Dylan wants to know, D-Mad, if we want to talk about. I cannot find his comment now. Where did it go?
Bobby P.
Am I just blind?
It's highlighted. It's right above case.
Oh, right above. Duh. I can't read. I'm sorry. It says, do we want to talk about Bobby P already weeding out the week? Not the week, but the actual week.
I don't think that's what exactly happened.
So we're gonna talk about it on the other side of the break. We're gonna step away real quick. You're watching the late night edition of Inside the Hawg Pen, post game edition. along the Sideline Radio Network. Back right after this. All right, welcome back to Inside the Hawg Pen, late night edition. Razorback Zach, Marcus MC Carlton, and a very disgruntled looking Sarah Swish Vogel right now. She is focused in on something.
I was doing.
Oh man. There was a couple of other comments I wanted to get to before we talk about the football team, and then of course we have to talk about baseball because I'm gonna say one thing and one thing only, and I pray to God I don't butcher this guy's name. Yeah, I'm not even going to try it.
Vahiva Aloy.
Aloy.
Aloha Aloy.
I have a nickname for his first home run when we get to it. But right. Derek Covington wants to know, must back next year. Thoughts? Yes, 100%.
Sarah?
Do you want what I want or what's going to happen?
What?
Because personally,
both.
Do I care? I honestly am kind of tired of him. Just
really?
Well, more about the drama surrounding it. I don't want to get too much into it because I don't know all of the details. But apparently, he's been arguing with a certain donor who sits front row, and that's why his wife was sitting in the stands for a few games and stuff. I'm just tired of hearing about all of it. So either stay or go. Make your decision and stop playing with people's money. That's how I feel about it.
Fair. That's fair.
Okay, but MC, and this is more for you. If Musk goes, who in the hell are we going to get that wants to take this over?
You make one call and you pursue this man the way Alabama pursued Nick Saban. Chris MFing Beard.
Why?
Tell
me. Why?
Wait, is that the...
He's at Ole Miss.
He's the Texas guy that beat his girlfriend?
Yeah.
That the charges were dropped on?
But I'm saying that's the guy, right? The one that was in Texas?
Yes, that's the one where the charges were dropped.
There's too many Chris's.
Okay, but MC.
She was actually the aggressor. Yeah. But I was just...
He is a top 5 X and O guy in the game right now. Period. End of story.
Really?
If you go back and look over his career, he was the guy at Little Rock that took them to the dance, upset Iowa. Went to Texas Tech, had a lot of success there, took them to the national title game.
Little Rock,
Ole Miss on the cusp of an NCAA appearance for the first time in forever.
MC, he also took Little Rock to the tournament and beat Purdue.
I thought it was Iowa, but yes, Purdue.
Yeah, it's Purdue. But I have a better name for head coach.
Okay. No.
I agree with Loki.
No.
Hey, I'm in Fayetteville. I'll take it. I ain't gonna let no men whip their selves around. I'm gonna whip them around.
We might be needing 2 coaches. So, do you want the men's?
They better put weighted towels over their head.
Matt makes a good point. Matt Hart from Hog HQ. They do some fantastic work over there, by the way, with Adam and DP. I'm worried because you don't see a lot of coaches leave their school after 1 year.
That's a fair point. That is a fair point, but I will say this.
I don't see Beard coming here, and I don't see Muss leaving, to be honest.
If Muss was to leave, I think, and this is just MC's opinion, I think Chris Beard would not hesitate to leave Ole Miss to come here. If he was somewhere else in the SEC that has a little more basketball tradition and has the opportunity to turn that program into something, I think he might be more inclined to stay. But given his history of being in Little Rock and then being at Texas Tech and competing against Arkansas, he knows, he's smart enough guy to know what this program is and what it is capable of. And the ceiling here is 10 times higher at minimum than it is at Ole Miss.
I was about to say, someone said we don't need to move on from Muss.
Yeah, Brad Staten says we don't need to move on from Muss.
I think
I'm not necessarily.
We don't want to move on. That man is money hungry at the end of the day. I don't mean that in a rude way, but every coach is. Where was he going? Louisville is what everybody was saying.
Yeah.
If they offered him $30 million, even if it was a bottom of the whole piece of crap program, he's going to take it. It's $30 million.
Louisville,
it does not matter what we have, unless the Hunts pay up and give him his money. He's going to go somewhere else where he knows he can.
The thing is, though, Louisville's not what it used to be under one Rick Pitino.
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying that's where
it's
everybody.
Still a very tradition-rich program, though.
Yeah,
and as much as I hate to admit this, I think it's a step up from Arkansas.
It's either he's only going
to okay, but again, let me toss this out here because MC, you're the basketball guy, and so are you, Sarah. We stuck with Mike Anderson for how many years after getting bounced in the first round of the NCAA tournament and then not making the tournament? And now we're talking about a guy that has taken us several times to the and they said it on the broadcast tonight. Mm-hmm. Arkansas has been the most successful SEC team in the Big Dance the last couple of years.
The problem is,
we're already hold on, but we're already talking about moving on from him after one bad year.
That's what you're not getting. We're not moving on from him. He's moving on from us.
Right.
There's a huge difference. When Anderson was here, when everybody else was here, there was no money like there is right now. He's leaving us to go find money. We're not leaving him. Hunter isn't going to fire him. Hunter is not firing him after this season. Whoever said that on social media can.
But I will say this: if he comes back, Sarah may actually shit a brick.
No, I want him to come back, but I want it to not be.
It's not. That's the thing. It has never struck me that it's about the money.
It's always about the money.
But to me, it's not always about the money. It's about the stardom. If that camera, if you notice the team, doesn't do as well, they don't show Muss, and he gets mad and angry, and then they show him, and then he settles down. The team in itself is an attention whore. If they're not getting the attention, they get frustrated.
Let's talk
about
this.
But someone just said it. I was going to say, we have another coach to fire before Muss.
Yeah,
I think he's gone.
See, okay.
You let a top whatever recruit out of this state leave and then beat your booty by 30 points the other night.
Wait, who was it? What I missed?
Marquise Davis, the one I played high school from Ole Miss. They doggy stomped them. Biggest win ever for Ole Miss against Arkansas.
They beat them by 44, I think.
It was a bad beat.
87-43.
Loki makes a good point. He says, what I don't understand is so many folks talking about Muss leaving, but talking about how we can't fire Pitt out of the other side of their mouths.
That's where I'm coming from. Is Muss will leave. Pitt's not leaving. Yes, Pitt won't leave. We have to fire Pitt. Muss, we're not firing Muss. Muss is going to leave us.
There's
two very different situations.
If there is a change, it will be Muss's decision. He will not get fired. He has done more for this program in the 5 years that he's been here than the program had done since the heyday of Nolan 30 years ago.
And
So
y'all think I'm hating on Muss. I really do like Muss. This season has just proved to me that there's favoritism, there's drama, there's stuff that he can't seem to control.
well,
And if he wants to leave, let him.
And I have beat this drum
If
to
he
death.
doesn't want to be here,
I've beat this drum to death, and I'm gonna hit it a couple more times because it flinched.
Okay.
The changes that he made to his staff have backfired on him this year.
Okay.
Gus Arginal left for Cal State Bernardino,
and they're champs.
Whatever, they won their conference this year.
Okay, but should we not?
He's really good. I liked him.
Really good.
Okay, but should we not give Muss a chance to correct those mistakes?
You're saying us give Muss a chance again. We are not firing Muss.
Yeah,
he is leaving us.
But okay, but we had the same conversation about the Pittman staff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, with Dan Enos, dumbass Enos, as I'd like to call him, and he, again goes out and makes one of the best hires and surprising hires I've ever known somebody to do in Bobby Petrino. If Muss does not leave, because we don't know one way or the other right now, y'all.
Right.
Okay. This man could be working behind the scenes about a home run that we don't know about.
You think he's going to fire his kid? You think he's going to fire his kid?
That's where I was going.
You think he's going to fire his own child?
I would.
Tell me that.
I would in a heartbeat. If he's not doing it at the end of the day, it's business, and that coaching staff is a business. It has to be a business decision.
But that's 2 hires that should have never been made.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of his kid should be allowed. I don't care who hired him. That last name comes across whoever's hiring desk. They're not turning it down. I'm just telling you. Those are 2 hires that should have never been made. His son is director of operations, and his other son stole another graduate assistant or grad manager position from another person at the school because his last name is Musselman.
I will go so far as to say there's a 3rd hire that shouldn't have been made, or he should not have been promoted to the position he has on the bench, and that's Ronnie Brewer. I felt like he was better off in the director of basketball operations or whatever side job that he was doing.
I kind of like him with recruiting.
Yeah.
I'm fine with him with recruiting. I don't like his placement on the bench. I don't like his placement on the bench.
Oh, because he's currently like director of recruiting or whatever, isn't he?
Something. All I know is that he took a promotion prior to the season.
Assistant coach, recruiting coordinator.
Okay, recruiting coordinator's fine. I got no problem with that piece of it.
He's under Michael Musselman, who is director of recruiting.
That's the problem.
I have a problem with that one. I have a problem with. Go ahead, Zach.
Go ahead. Why would you put Michael Musselman in charge of recruiting when you have Ronnie freaking Brewer, who A, former player, B, knows the game, C, knows the state and the university? And I get it. It's his kid. Come on.
He literally, but Michael didn't even graduate from here.
That's my point. That is my exact point.
I just don't like replacing long-time assistants, guys with 15, 20 plus years experience. You're replacing those guys on your in-game bench assistants with 2 guys who have never sat in those chairs. They've never been in this situation as a coach.
He has 3 other guys. I don't know why Ronnie's really up there, to be honest with you. Because you got Keith, you got Ruda, and you got Lee. Why is he up there?
Yeah. Well, and then the only thing I've ever seen his son do in the middle of a game is get up there in front of his dad when his dad loses his mind on a call. If Keith Smart,
he runs to the back at halftime to write on the board for his daddy.
And I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm dogging the guy, but this feels like a situation where somebody cut line, didn't have to pay their dues, and they were gifted an opportunity that maybe they were not quite ready for.
Yep, and his other kid is graduate assistant.
So let's put basketball to bed for now, because guess what starts up?
Actually, I don't think anybody on here watches women's basketball enough to talk about it, to be honest. Because we have one of the top recruits ever in Razorback history, and she was suddenly at home for a few games, has been injured a few games.
She hitting the portal?
I don't really know. Like, I don't know enough about the situation, and I was kind of hoping someone in here might know, but I doubt it because it's not a lot of people. It's late, but like the home stuff just seems very weird to me. Like, you can't even travel with the team. Like, just seems like, I get if it's a funeral, but like college basketball, that team that you're on, funeral.
Was it like a leave of absence, maybe?
Yeah, kind of. That's how it's been.
Or is it kind of like Devo leaving the team?
Well, that's what I was referencing. Yeah.
Oh. All right. So before we get to baseball, we got to talk about something that I know a little something about. Spring football starts in a couple of days. So Pittman comes out. Was it yesterday or today? I think
yesterday.
And says we're going to have more open practices. We're going to tackle more during practice.
We're going to tackle to the ground.
We're going to tackle to the ground. And look, I get that we're trying to prevent injury, but just once.
We had a player injured on a scooter.
I know.
A scooter. Y'all, I ride that scooter to bomb every weekend, multiple times a weekend. May or may not be like riding it straight. Never have I hurt my leg. Never.
I mean, that is like the most Arkansas injury ever, is to blow out your knee riding a scooter.
On a scooter.
Yeah.
When I read that, y'all, I died. I'm not going to lie. I was laughing pretty hard at that one.
Spring football starts in a couple of days, and for the first time, in
language.
Do I need to pull the trump card out? I will flex my muscle if I need to. We need to do that. We need to have that from the Avengers movie. Language. I know. For the first time in a while, we've got a quarterback competition, a true quarterback competition on the football team. Again, I don't have a clear favorite. We've got 4 of them. But the problem is, and I think it's MC that made the comment either on Twitter or on a Facebook post, that when a walk-on is being talked about, there's a problem.
A walk-on that was a baseball player 3 weeks ago.
Austin Ledbetter. Yeah.
But, I mean, if he's in the mix, that's got to count for something, though, right? I mean, playing devil's advocate here, he's a walk-on, but...
Well, I did have a couple of replies to my comment on Twitter about that. And they were pointing out to me that the only reason he's a walk-on is because he came over from baseball. So he's still counting against the baseball scholarship rather than football. Because there's
no.
It's just what I was told. So
that's like illegal. So
I didn't think Dave would
NCAA rules
let that happen, but you know.
Well, okay,
he's definitely, because especially since he left, we've switched over to a new semester. He might have been like still on the baseball last semester, but this new semester, he's definitely not counting against baseball still. There's no way they would allow that to.
There's been a couple of developments and a couple of players that have left the team or injured. One kind of surprised me, and that's Andrew Chambly. All of a sudden, he's lost the love of the game.
He didn't look like a dude in his tweet that had lost the love for the game.
He had already entered the transfer portal.
I think he's going to Arkansas State.
I don't get why. I guess I don't get why Pittman makes that comment in a presser, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that feels.
But at the same time,
to me, that feels either classless or he was told to say that.
I honestly think it was CYA. Cover your ass.
So here's my take on
then
that.
Don't mention it at all. Just say he's off the team, just like you did Stewart. Why do you have to go into the loss of love?
I think that was, Pitt has stuck his foot in his mouth a lot of times.
Every post-game press conference.
And I think
he did it in his current press conference. Look at some of the tweets
I think that at times he is, there's times where he doesn't want to share anything. And then there's other times where I feel like he wants to share too much.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this was one of those times that he was wanting to just share too much. Houston Nutt was kind of that way too. He wanted to be so accommodating to the media at times that he would kind of overshare, and I kind of feel like Pitt has kind of done the same thing with this specific situation.
To me, I feel like across the board, every single team needs a PR lesson.
Yes.
Every single coach.
Baseball.
No, even DVH. Everybody.
What's he done that
nothing yet.
Sarah,
nothing yet.
Wait, Sarah. Before we continue our discussion with spring football, I have to ask this question: who pissed in your Wheaties this morning?
School.
Retract the claws, ma'am.
Somebody pissed in her Wheaties this morning. She is on one.
Whew. It's better than last week.
Okay, so back to spring football. You got the quarterback competition. MC, what is? We'll start with you. What are some of the things that you're looking for, improvements that you're looking for in spring football?
An offensive line that doesn't hate their quarterback.
Fourth and one.
Fourth and one.
Hey, at least on the 4th and 1, they didn't take a knee.
I mean,
might as well.
I am ready to go vintage 2010. I'm ready to see Cowboy go get it on 4th and 1. I'm ready to see the wheel route. I want to see. I'll tell you what I am looking forward to. The little speedy wide receiver that we could never seem to get on the ball. He returned punts last year, and I can't remember his name.
Isaiah Satania.
I want to see Satania in this Petrino offense because I kind of feel like he could play that Joe Adams role.
I'm really looking forward to.
He had a couple good plays this last season when they finally let him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he had some dumb mistakes too, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he did.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what exactly this Bobby P offense is going to look like because we never did. And again, I'm mentioning a team that we hate, but we never saw anything explosive down at Texas A&M. But we also know
all
Jimbo,
those weapons they had too. I mean,
but we also knew that Jimbo wasn't going to turn play calling over to Bobby P.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. We also knew that. But I think Bobby is, I guess, the new Barry Odom.
Yeah.
He's got the head coach
just on the other side of the ball.
Just on the other side of the ball. All right.
Well, and I will say this. We all know that when it comes to offense, and there's a lot of former players out here that would verify this, Petrino is a perfectionist. Okay? That's his nature on offense. I mean, I've heard Joe Adams talk about it. I heard the late great Ryan Mallett talk about it. I heard Tyler Wilson talk about it, that they would run stuff over and over and over until it was just almost perfect. Now, you take that mentality in a coach, combine it with the offensive genius that he is, and now you throw in that little extra motivation that he's going to have by coming back to Arkansas. And the offense, if they will buy in, if these kids will buy in, the offense has the opportunity to be pretty special. Because if Bobby Petrino can make a serviceable quarterback out of Casey Dick, he can make one out of anybody.
Wait a minute. We said the same thing about Dan Enos and Brandon Allen, and look what he did. And look at what happened to KJ.
Yeah, but
there's more to it than just what we saw. On
KJ never fit into Dan Enos. Everybody called it from the beginning of the season. It wasn't gonna work.
Did I not say that too, MC?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can go back in the archives and look. I mean, because I was trying to sell you on it. I was trying to sell you on look at what he did with Brandon Allen for Brandon's senior year. I think that was as much, if not more, of Brandon Allen just being really, really talented. Because if you go way back in the archives and look, when Brandon Allen was being recruited, Petrino recruited him. And Petrino said that he was probably one of the highest IQ quarterbacks he had ever recruited out of high school. So
Jonathan Parker, JP's in the house. Gotta ask, how good will it be if Bobby P can talk directly to the quarterback? That'll have a huge advantage for us.
Are we talking about the things
talking about the
in
radios,
helmets?
radios in the helmets.
Radios in there. I wouldn't be against that.
Look, I don't care what we got to do. I don't care what corners we got to cut. I just want to win.
I have
That's
a lot
it.
to say about that.
Arthur Blank said it best. Just win, baby.
You have a lot to say about what? The radios?
Yeah. I just feel like helmets are already, like, you're adding more stuff in there that's more cause for injury, electrocution. Then on top of that, like, there's certain conversations between coaches I don't think players should hear. So you better have your own channel for the player, you know.
Well, most of the headsets have.
Most of the headsets have.
Yeah, they're going to have multiple channels.
I'm saying, like, let's hope they actually do that, you know. But to me, that's just too much in a small set when you have play calls for a reason. Like, it's worked for, what, damn near 200 years or whatever. Like, why do we suddenly have to change it?
Well, it's been experimented with. I mean, NFL uses it. And
I don't know how long it is. I'm not.
It's been experimented with, and I think Jesse's got a good point here. You know, as far as player development goes, it helps prepare them for the NFL, because if these guys are good enough to play in the NFL, that's what they're going to be dealing with.
Yeah.
They're going to be dealing with the headset communications. And
I guess I just I'm not one to add stuff to a helmet. I feel like that's meant to protect you, not to be an electronic device. But
I mean, I'm all for any advantage you
next
can
thing
get.
you know, you're going to have, like, what is it in Spy Kids when they have the little goggles on, you can see shit and they're highlighting it.
They already have that for the special need kit for the blind or the deaf.
Oh yeah, the AT&T
came out with it. All right, so we're gonna take a quick breath, and I'm gonna convince Sarah to go smoke some weed or something to chill the out.
we need to find her some gummies or something.
We need to find her some gummies.
I don't participate.
But she is on one tonight.
We're gonna talk baseball on the other side.
Y'all are just meeting the real Sarah.
That's scary. You're listening to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back right after this. All right, welcome back to Inside the Hog Pen Late Night Edition.
Late night for my old tail, that's for sure.
Razorback Zach hanging out with you alongside Marcus MC Carlton and Sarah Swish Vogel. Okay, so Arkansas baseball keeps on rolling. Now,
Really?
Aloy, I'm going to butcher his first name, so I'm not even going to try it right now.
Vahiva
Aloy hit a Hawaiian punch, a.k.a. a grand slam. Ha, see what I did there?
And Greg Emerald called it. It was great.
I mean, what a way to hit your first home run, being a grand slam. Now, granted, it would have been a whole lot sweeter and a whole lot cooler to be against an SEC opponent like LSU or even Tennessee, but I'll take it against UCA.
Oh, also the answer to Jesse's question is not in the hog pen.
Not in the hog pen.
Because he said, "Where is the Sarah that I hung out with Friday?" In the hog pen, not in the hog pen. I'm here.
Wait, hold on. You are in the hog pen, just not
HOGPEN.
Yeah. So Trevor Kaiser wants to know: is it just me, Or did it seem like we didn't give a shit about this last game against UCA?
I don't think it was that. Look, in-state games are different. When a team like UCA comes to bomb, they're going to be playing with a little extra juice, and that's not a knock on UCA. UCA gave LSU fits a couple weeks ago.
They did.
Yeah.
So UCA is a pretty solid ball club.
To me, it's a midweek game after a long weekend against, I don't want to say a subpar opponent, but not an SEC school.
It's a lower tier. It's a lower tier.
All midweek games. The only midweek game I want to see us do good in is Texas Tech. The only one I care about, to be honest. Had we lost, oh well.
Yeah,
You're not pitching Hagen Smith, you're not pitching Brady Tiger, and you're not pitching Molina.
How about Gackle pitching his way out of that jam?
Yeah.
As a freshman.
When I tell y'all, my stomach was not doing well.
Bro, that was wild.
I was stressing.
But I think it added another notch in his belt to get him ready for SEC play.
Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't, who was it started that game? Was it Fisher?
Yeah, Big Tuna.
Yes.
Yeah, Big Tuna. I didn't think he pitched that bad. I thought he pitched pretty well. And then Cody Frank did not have a good day.
Frank did not. Frank.
He. I don't know if he was tipping his pitches or they just made
There
good
was
hits
Frank
or what.
And then Dossett,
yeah.
Dossett hit a guy.
Well, and broke his nose.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. I was listening to so the kid that got hit in the face.
Damn.
Played.
So that might have been Fisher's, because Fisher and Hassett, or however you say his name, Dossett and Fisher both hit guys.
I think it was Dossett. I think
Fisher
Dossett
hit like two people.
Yeah.
In a row.
But I think Dossett hit the guy whose nose got broke. But anyway, the reason I know this is because I was driving home from work when that happened, and I was listening to Bubba Carpenter, and it was Chuck for some, I guess, because Phil's with the women's basketball team.
Phil was with the women's basketball team.
And the kid that got hit and broke his nose played like Little League or something for Bubba Carpenter. And so Bubba was getting texts on the guy on the update.
Jesse just said Dossett hit the NWA guy in the face.
It was Dossett that hit him in the face.
Yeah. So
I saw him get hit, but we're out there, we can't hear anything. So
it was ugly. I don't know if you saw the replay or not, but it was ugly.
How fast did he
they
throw
don't
that ball?
They don't ever replay stuff like that.
Okay.
I wish they did.
Well,
it was
luckily,
pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it was a breaking ball, so it wasn't as fast as it could have been. But still, 75 miles an hour to the face is still 75 miles an hour to the face. So, I don't know that they didn't really give a crap, but I mean, if you've heard Dave talk, midweek games to him are almost treated like a scrimmage. And you could see that from the number of pitchers that we used in that game too.
It was also like you had to be there, but like the weather started here. And by the third or fourth inning, it was here. I walked out in t-shirt and shorts, and by the fourth inning, I was sitting there like.
So it was like that one game last year that heavy rain blew through, and it just froze everybody out.
Not that bad. It wasn't freezing. It was still like 50 degrees. It was just that cool wind. So you start off hot, and then you kind of like it just felt weird too.
Gradual.
But Wood didn't look bad. I didn't think, or Wood was like all right. Hewlett I didn't really care for. Frank I didn't care for.
Okay, hang on. We gotta. If you're gonna mention Hewlett, we gotta mention the unicorn, the 4 strikeout inning.
Man, that was weird. I had to figure out what had happened because I was not.
That okay. Let me
at that moment. I went to get a snow cone.
Let me old man rant for just a second. The drop third strike rule is the dumbest rule in all of sports. I hate it. It makes no sense. It is the dumbest rule in all the sports. But it did put stone in the record books because there have only been in the history of baseball, I saw this, there have only been like 93 total pitchers at any level who have had a 4 strikeout inning.
I saw that.
Oh, I want to do Jonathan Parker's comment first. DVH uses midweek games to get guys experience so he knows who he can count on later in the season. Yeah, that's true. And then Loki says, as someone who has been hit by a baseball going 95 miles an hour, don't get distracted in a batting cage, kids. Getting hit by a ball like that is a pain all of its own. I've been struck in the hip in a batting cage with a 60-mile-an-hour fastball, and it left a pretty nasty bruise on my hip.
I took about a 75-mile-an-hour pitch to my butt, which is the best place to get hit, but it still
sit down for a week.
It still hurt. I mean,
I've never been hit with a baseball or anything, but I kicked a soccer ball so hard into a girl's stomach I busted her spleen. Does that count?
Jesus.
We have found Cam's replacement for kicker on the football team.
I tried to try out, but you had to play high school football.
Good.
I filled out the thing, and then they sent me an email saying you had to play high school football.
MC, that's what you took away from that? He busted a girl's spleen, and that's what you took from that?
Hey, 70s soccer was a beast. When I tell you girls used to pull chunks of my hair out, I had a girl's cleat imprint in both sides of the inner of my thighs.
I have not watched a lot of girls' high school soccer, but what I have watched, that is like the dirtiest game I have ever seen.
Y'all can, it's football without the pads.
Bitches be crazy. I mean,
yeah, they do. So weather
I literally
permitting,
used to I used to put my hair on top of my head and braid it and purposely smack girls in the face so they'd get blinded. Bust girls' blood vessels in their eyes.
Brad Staten says, no wonder Sarah's so angry. I think we have found it.
I just need to play sports again. The anger's building up. If anybody wants to go, to a boxing gym and just be my dummy for a little bit.
I'm telling you, we need to open a rage room.
There's one up here. It is just so expensive. I'm just going to go use Jill and Greg's backyard.
There you go. There you go. That's our new intro, MC.
Yeah, there you go.
Savage Sarah. There. I like it.
I'm not even angry. I'm just speaking the truth.
You kind of been on one tonight. You've been tonight. You've been a little more free flowing tonight.
Weather permitting, we've got a 3-game series starting Friday afternoon with Murray. Was it Murray State?
No, that was who we just beat, isn't it?
That's who we just beat.
McNeese.
Who do we have this weekend? McNeese State. McNeese State. I knew it was a.
I don't think it's McNeese State. It's just McNeese.
I guess they dropped the state, but okay. Yeah.
It's McMurray.
Given hopefully the weather holds out, and we have, because if not, we may end up doing a doubleheader on Saturday.
It is McNeese State. They just don't put that on their title.
So
it's kind of like Memphis and Memphis State.
Yeah, which is dumber than dirt. But who do you know?
Hey, Sarah might be in Memphis this summer.
Meanwhile, MC and I are just holding back comments right now.
Fine.
On that note, we're gonna wrap it up. MC, final thoughts before we get out of here on this late night edition of ITHP.
Good win by basketball. Unfortunately, it feels like it's a case of too little, too late. Yep. I mean, they can't get out of the Wednesday night sadness game at the SEC tournament. So go down to Bama on Saturday, see what happens, and then go over to Nashville and just treat it like you got nothing to lose.
Sarah, how about you?
Maybe I'm sad because I won't be at baseball Friday or Saturday.
Oh, no wonder you mad.
I'll be there late on Friday.
I had fans reaching out to me saying they were going to look for you Saturday.
Yeah, a friend asked me to drive her to Tulsa, so I'll be driving her to Tulsa. It's a non-conference, so I'll be there for LSU. If you need me for LSU, I'm not gonna say I'll be incognito. I'll be there, but I won't be there.
Oh, Loki.
Just gonna leave that there. Oh my God.
We'll just leave that one alone.
The number of offensive rebounds.
Yeah. The number of offensive rebounds Arkansas had tonight.
There you go.
And the person with the most turnovers in the littlest amount of time.
That's going to do it for us. Stay tuned to our social medias for next week's schedule as far as our show is, because, again, like MC said, we have the Wednesday night sadness game. So
7 o'clock.
It may be an early, it may be a late, or we may end up just pushing it depending on what happens.
It kind of depends on how they play.
It kind of depends on how
Sarah can't go early because she has a test.
Well, I mean, MC and I can hold it down. We can,
No,
the dynamic duo.
you gotta have the savageness. You can't have the
yeah,
nice.
start saying only if you bring the savage again. That's the only
You
way we're
can't
letting
have
you back in.
two nice people and no one to be the bad cop. That's why you brought me on the show, to be the bad cop.
To be.
I mean, before I got on, you didn't have a cease and desist, but now you do. So be quiet.
I mean, she's got a point, MC.
She's
got a point.
Savage Sarah is a real thing. She's on a heater, she's on a Caliph battle heater right now. So
yeah.
I mean, last week was worse. I don't know why this week gets the savage, but last week.
I don't know, man. I don't know if last
but
week was worse or not.
My
No,
text line's been
I dropped
lighting up.
F-bomb in front of my mama.
Yeah, how'd that go, by the way?
yeah, that's true. I'd forgot about that.
You just told me maybe there's a reason I haven't gotten jobs. Or maybe that's the reason I got the job in Memphis.
It's entirely possible. Well, yeah, that's entirely possible. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up before this thing gets way off in the weeds. For Savage Sarah, Marcus MC Carlton, I'm Razorback Zach. You've been watching and listening to an all-new episode of ITHP Late Night Edition. Until next time, so long, everybody.